Albania's capital has been rocked by days of protests against a luxury resort project linked to U.S. President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Thousands of people marched through Tirana demanding the government cancel the plan. Protesters also clashed with police and security at the building site. Environmental activists warn the development is taking place in a protected wildlife zone and that it would have a serious impact on Albania's coastline. Well, despite the protests, Albanian Prime Minister Edi Rama defended the project.
There is no chance that this investment will stop as long as I am here. And in the meantime, I am absolutely open, as I have been on other occasions, to discuss it with anyone who has concerns.
Let's get more on this now with Bezar Likmeta, a journalist in Tirana. Bezar, what's the situation in Tirana at the moment? How significant are these protests?
The protests are significant. Thousands of people gathered in the main square in Tirana, Skanderbeg Square, and they marched to the Prime Minister's office. They were met by water cannons, but that didn't stop them. They marched and held slogans against the government, asking for the development, the resort linked to the Trump family to be stopped, asking for the resignation of the Prime Minister, but also hurling slogans against the whole ruling elite, which they see as corrupt, as tied to organized crime, as a level of state capture is involved in this project. So they're not happy. They're not happy that this project is moving forward. There is definitely a lack of transparency. It's unclear who the people behind it are. Although the Trump family is being presented as the figureheads, we have seen that there is local oligarchs involved, that there is people from, let's say, investments from Qatar behind it, and also ties to underworld figures. Just today, the Special Prosecutor's Office in Tirana blocked a transfer of nearly 180 million euros or dollars tied to this investment for suspicions of being tied to organized crime, to an underworld figure who they believe or suspect has been behind the land which has been taken by local villagers who were protested just a few days ago. So it's a murky investment. It's unclear who benefits, who the people who benefit from it and the people who are behind it are.
Well, Prime Minister Edi Rama is clearly behind it. He's made it clear that the project will go ahead. We heard a soundbite from him there. Tell us more about Prime Minister Rama's position on this resort.
Well, it's the model of development that Prime Minister Edi Rama has chosen for the Albanian coast. It's a model where contracts are handed to government cronies to develop, and they've blighted the Albanian coast through concrete, and the people behind it are always very close to the Prime Minister or media or oligarchs, but the Albanian people benefit very little from these areas. They gather very little employment. The country has a migration rate of 1%. 30,000 people left the country last year. Many of them migrate into places like Germany. And it's because the young people don't have the future. The people in the street today protesting, they are Gen Zs, they are young families who want to have a future in Albania. This kind of model of development that takes pristine areas and auction is off to the highest bidder with no regard for protection of the environment, with no regard for protection of natural monuments. This is not a kind of development that they're asking. This is not the kind of development for a country which aspires to become a member of the European Union. That's where they are on the streets. They are fed up. And they're asking for the government to resign. They're asking for Prime Minister Edi Rama to go. They're asking for the rule of law to be upheld, because this development, it's not only illegal according to Albanian law, but is also illegal under to European, let's say, contracts and agreements that Albania has signed.
So it is a controversial project for many of the reasons you've already mentioned, but the project's link to Jared Kushner is attracting a lot of attention. Is the Trump family connection part of what makes this resort so controversial?
For Albanians, it's the model of development. It's not only the Trump family. If it was only the Trump family, I don't think you'd be that controversial. But if you have, let's say, the Trump family, underworld figures, corrupt officials, local oligarchs into a mix, and then companies who are registered offshore, which provide very little transparency, add to that the protected area, which is bulldozed, as you can see from the pictures, then I think that's a toxic mix. That's not development. That's just the aggression towards nature, aggression to the rights of people to safeguard their environment.
Bezar, thank you very much for talking with us today. That was journalist Bezar Likmeta in Tirana.
Well, I'm joined now by Olsi Nika, Executive Director of Eco Albania. That's an NGO that's working to protect Albania's natural ecosystems and wildlife. It's good to have you with us. You've been directly involved in the protests, I understand. Can you describe what happened during the clashes over the weekend?
Well, actually, we've been initiating the protest, but now it's massive, and people are also articulating not only the messages to conserve nature and against harmful projects, regardless, let's say, the fact whether it is linked to Donald Trump's son-in-law or to whomever else. So it looks like this is the message that enough is enough for also for other problems that Albania is facing nowadays, I think. And these are the messages that are being articulated by the protesters in these 3-4 days.
Also, I want to make sure that we understand you here. So are you saying that the protesters, they are upset about much more than just a threat to the environment with this project?
Exactly. I think this was the detonator, the initiation of the protest. But if you read carefully and if you hear actually the messages that are being said by the megaphones in the protest, they are claiming a lot more in terms of resign of the prime minister, and also resign of this role of the leader of the opposition party, for instance. So there is an interesting mixture in the protest. However, our position as the NGO and actually as the environmental groups, we are claiming only the withdrawal from the project because it's unacceptable, it's illegal in a way, and it's against all the principles of nature conservation.
Do you think the fact that President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, the fact that he is involved in this project, does that make it even more likely that it will go through? I mean, does it make your chances of getting it blocked that much smaller?
Just to be clear in one thing, so we are definitely not against development, and we have never been against development. So we are a country under development, and of course we are eager to develop any sort of strategic sector of our economy, and apparently tourism seems to be one of the major ones. Mm-hmm. However, there is always, and it has to be, a red line on the territories that we cannot develop such sort of projects, and these are the protected areas. So this is our clear message, and I think that this project will not get through because, it can get through, but not in this particular area. So this is what we claim, and I think that this will not get through in this particular area because it's also very complicated, and it implicates the Albanian EU negotiation process in the process that we are to getting the membership from the EU.
So who do you think is on your...
Of course, to answer...
Yeah, go ahead.
Just, to answer your question, of course, there is always this bigger pressure when big investors like Donald Trump's son-in-law, it appears, in the horizon. And somehow could also, some of the regulatory framework, could get overcome in this. But, our position is very clear. We are not against the development. They can develop any sort of resort they want, but not in the protected areas, because it's simply these areas does not belong to us alone, but also to Europe and to future generations.
Well, who is on your side? I mean, if I read you correctly, it sounds like you're saying that Brussels, the European Union, is on your side, but your own government probably is not. Is that an accurate reading?
It could be like that, but European Union, it's not just the mixture of countries. I think there are also some of the member states are very concerned about the overall situation on the protected areas in Albania, and they are also closely monitoring the whole situation in this. So I'm very sure about this, that at one point there will be a kind of negotiation also with the Albanian government from the international factor that is it's cooperating with Albania.
Let me just ask you before we run out of time, your country is in a process of serious transformation. You want to join the European Union. You want prosperity and jobs to come. That may mean having a lot of foreign investment. This project, has it become a symbol, though, of foreign influence that has gotten out of control in Albania?
You could read it also like that, but Albania has 80% of the country, of the territory of the country, which is open and free to get such sort of investments. So they are not protected areas. What we have in Albania is only 20%, and to be precise, 21.7% that are the protected areas. On the other hand, Albania is committed to increase this to 30% even, but what we are witnessing is that all the legal framework, all the institutional framework is working to the direction of opening up these areas for huge and massive development. And this is absolutely unacceptable because it's not aligned with international commitment of Albania as a state, and especially on the road towards getting the EU membership.
Okay. Olsi Nika, Executive Director of ECO Albania, we appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.